Vancouver. It's late August. It's a Sunday morning. Nice and calm. So I was able to take the boat out myself and let Lisa sleep in a little bit. And it's about 8 o'clock right now, just heading out of False Creek. Kind of a unique sight to Vancouver up ahead. There's a barge that washed ashore in November last year when it was really windy and rainy. And for whatever reason, they couldn't pull it off. Unbelievable. So they renamed the beach Barge Chilling Beach, and almost a year later, they finally came up with a plan that it's actually got to be disassembled piece by piece to get it off the beach. And that's what's happening there with that barge.
Day one of our holiday, going to the Gulf Islands, and we are starting with Cabbage and Tumbo Islands, which is right just off of, I guess, Saturna Island. We went there once before, but when we went, it was during the forest fires, and it was just pea soup smoke, so we didn't get a real good look at it. And we've always wanted to go back because it's a beautiful little anchorage with some nice walks and things. So that is how we are starting our trip.
Well, there's all the mooring balls. Unfortunately, they're spoken for, but we still got a good anchorage here. And they're forecasting some pretty calm winds for the next few days, so I think we're just as good as having a mooring ball. That is Cabbage Island, which is the smaller of the two, facing the Georgia Strait, and then the larger island, which still isn't very big, that's Tumbo. And then behind that, over there in the distance, that's Saturna. Really nice there as well. Some really tricky reefs at the entry to this anchorage. Got to be really careful. There's a few of those areas that dry under a low tide, which is now. I think in a high tide, even those can be underwater, but then there's some underwater rocks all over the place here, so we really tiptoed our way in here. You just got to approach this entry with caution.
A beautiful sunset at Cabbage and Tumbo Island. It's beautiful. Really, you can't get much better than this. It's a gorgeous day.
Just getting ready for a little kayak expedition from Tumbo to East Point on Saturna, going through the Tumbo Channel. Lisa's just getting ready.
Ready to go. It's a beautiful day. We are going through the channel along Saturna, between Saturna and Tumbo, and we are going to hopefully see some whales.
You never know. Hopefully not too close.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully get some good footage. Going around that point there, and then doing a 180. That's Saturna in the distance, and heading down Saturna. Just arrived at East Point on Saturna. Just gonna go up there for a walk. Those are our spotters.
Heading out for some more exploring. This time we are walking from one end of Tumbo to the other, and then by then it'll be low tide and we might do a little bit of exploring, like tidal pools and such.
They forecasted almost zero wind for these few days, but actually it's been surprisingly blustery. Kind of picked up yesterday. We're exposed to the northwest there, which makes for kind of rocky conditions. But we have a good hook here with our rocket up Vulcan, so we think we're good. I mean, it's not a terrible wind, but 10 or 15 knots is enough to get the boat rocking, as you can see. So a little bit of a contrast from what it was the first few days that we were here. Anyway, gonna head over, take the tender over to the beach over there and see what we see. Tumbo and Cabbage Islands are part of the Gulf Islands National Park Reserve. They were privately owned before being acquired as a marine park in recent years and saw a variety of uses including coal mining, timber harvesting, and mink farming in the early 1900s. There are still some old homestead buildings scattered around Tumbo Island, in addition to old mooring piles and an abandoned mine shaft, which provide clues to this history. The Parks Reserve maintains an anchorage with a number of mooring balls in Reef Harbor and some rudimentary campsites on Cabbage Island. There's an impressive variety of beaches, vegetation, and scenery, considering the size of the islands, which have a combined area of just over 300 acres. A series of pleasant hiking trails provide easy access to all corners of the islands. There they go. Those guys.
Just the most brave left now.
Yeah. We should stop here and let the most brave have the day in the sun. They're laughing at their eggs.
You guys are the champions.
Yeah. Well, look at them all bumping around.
Yeah, these guys aren't bothered.
On our way from Cabbage to Tumbo, This whole area here is underwater at high tide. More or less dries up at low tide. There's Cabbage, there's Lisa there. Lots of interesting little treasures here. There's tidal pools. That last stretch was definitely deeper than expected. You can see Lisa slogging through. I got wet right up to my waist. But we did it. We're about an hour off of low tide here, which is still at the 1.5 meter mark. This is the other end of Tumbo after a short hike. The center part is a bit of a valley or marsh.
If you want a beach all to yourself, this is where to go. We're just finishing up our walk around Tumbo Island. One of the reasons that we liked it so much the first time and came back a second time was there's just so many ecosystems here. You can see behind me there was the sort of temperate forest that we just walked through. There's this marsh that almost looks like it's cultured because it's so pretty and uniform. And then you have grasslands. And then you have like these beautiful beaches, and on the ends of the beaches you have these rock outcrops, and often they have seal colonies on them. There's just there's so much to see here. It never gets boring. It's our last night here at Cabbage and Tumbo Islands, and it's not a bad way to wrap things up. We've got our wine, we're on the back of the boat, and we've got a beautiful view, and the wind has pretty much died down. Tomorrow we are off to our next adventures, but in the meantime, we're going to enjoy this last evening.
Just getting ready to head out of Tumbo and Cabbage. We're on our way to Port Sydney Marina. We still have a week and a half to go here, cruising the Gulf Islands. And yeah, it was a nice couple days here. Hope you enjoy the video, and we are on our way to our next destination.